have wondered if, yes, this is just, giving somebody breadcrumbs to keep us happy.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll take it as a win for now.
It just seems like, why is there a special carve out for this one product? We have special guest with us. Dr. Mary Talley Bowden is a board certified, I can't say that, otolaryngologist. How do you say it?
Otolaryngologist.
Okay, and she's a sleep medicine specialist who completed her residency at Stanford University. She successfully treated more than 5,500 COVID-19 patients without a single death. Look at that. But she was nevertheless suspended by the Houston Methodist Hospital over alleged vaccine misinformation. She's the founder of Breathe MD, a clinic focused on personalized sinus, allergy, and sleep care. Dr. Bowden is also known for her work in publishing research and her involvement in advocating for health freedom through initiatives like the Coalition for Health Freedom. Please welcome back to the show, Dr. Bowden. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
So I just want to play this. So if people don't know, you stood up, you had to show, courage and tenacity, and most people in the medical profession did not. And so you got a little tribute from our favorite member of the Texas legislature, and I just want to play that.
Dr. Bowden, you're my spirit animal. I know that sometimes you feel alone and you're looking around saying, what is everybody doing? Why aren't more people standing up? And I want you to know you're not alone in that. I know exactly what that feels like. But I want you to know that God surrounds you. He's proud of you for standing up. He will protect you, and you continue your obedience because that's what you're here on earth to do. You thought you were just going to be a doctor. And I don't mean just a doctor because you've done amazing things, but God has big plans for you. And I'm so proud that you continue to stand firm for what you believe in. Thank you so much.
Hear, hear. Not now. From someone who's taken the slings and arrows, not as badly as you have, over telling the truth about COVID. That must have felt really nice, right?
It was wonderful. Do you know Shelley's backstory?
So
because she was
yes. So Shelley. By the way, let's talk about Shelley. So tell us her backstory. Go ahead. I'll let you tell it.
Well, she was put in prison for 3 nights because she refused to lock down. She owned a hair salon, and she stood up, and she's not the type that would go to prison, right? And she stood up and stayed strong, and then she was so mad that she ran for office, and then she just won this last election. So she's a brand new representative.
Wow. So she actually went to prison to fight against the authoritarian fascist lockdowns that most people accepted and most people pushed, and they would slander you if you spoke out against them, which was the most anti-American thing I can imagine. People act like fascism just came to America with the election of Donald Trump, and I had to remind people like Cornel West on my show and many others that you've been living under fascism. You just cheered it on instead of fighting against it. And someone like that, a hair salon owner, did fight against it, had more courage than all the people I normally look up to. And of course you stood up against it also. So it's that's great job. And this just happened. This was on May 15th. She tweeted out, "Tonight I passed HB 3441. It's a bill to hold vaccine manufacturers who advertise in Texas liable for injuries their products cause to Texans. Let's make Big Pharma put their money where their mouth is." So that's a great, you must have been excited to hear that also, right?
Yeah, I actually came and testified for that bill too, so it was even better.
So how does something like that get passed in a legislature like Texas, especially knowing how corrupt our politics are in general in the United States?
Well, yeah, it's surprising in some ways, and in some ways it's not. I mean, at the same time, there was a bill to make ivermectin over the counter in Texas, and that died.
That failed.
The bill to ban mRNA shots in Texas, and that died. So, they had to give some leeway, and this is what they decided they do.
Now, my theory, my guess is that they think it's going to get struck down by the Supreme Court, and that's why they were willing to go along and give a small victory to people like Shelley and us. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I've wondered if, yes, this is just, giving somebody breadcrumbs to keep us happy.
Okay.
But we'll see. I mean, we'll take it as a win for now.
It just seems like, why is there a special carve out for this one product that nobody else, the vaccine, I saw Borla, the head of Pfizer, he was asked, why do you have this carve out for no one can sue you for damages if they're injured by a vaccine? And he said, well, that's because people can get in a car accident and they can say, oh, it's from the vaccine. Well, they can say that about any other drug. They can say that about a high blood pressure medicine or a cancer treatment or any other drug, yet you don't have a special carve out for that. You just have it. So that, and of course the interviewer didn't push back and say that to them because the interviewers are being paid by the big pharma, and that's the big problem in America. So it's crazy that there's this one single carve out. And isn't it amazing to you how much they've been able to get people to go along with the big pharma propaganda about the carve out for vaccines?
Well, I'm kind of mad at myself because I never questioned it. I remember learning about it in medical school, and it was presented as a great victory for vaccines because vaccines were protected, and it was the gospel according to vaccines. There was no discussion of any kind of issues, side effects, dangers at all with vaccines. It was just taken as a fact that vaccines are safe and effective, and they deserve this special protection so that nothing, could happen to them, that they'd never have a threat to go away or so. And, I never questioned mandating vaccines for children to go to school until the COVID shots came around. And, when you think about it, all medical mandates are fundamentally wrong, but we've gone along with it for so long. When we take our children and get them shots, vaccinations, only because the school is making us, that's a medical mandate. And I don't know about you, I can't speak for you, but the majority of people have gone along with that.
Well, I, like you, never thought about it until COVID. And I don't have children, so I wasn't faced with that dilemma. And what shocks me is that I have friends today who I consider very smart, and they go along with the vaccine schedule without question, no skepticism whatsoever. And, I talk to them and I say, that within the first day, they give a vaccine to a baby for hepatitis B, which can only be gotten through intravenous drug use or unprotected sex. Why would you give that to a baby? And their answer is, well, that's the first one they give them. That was literally what people say. Well, that's the first one they give them. Like, that's as if that's not ridiculous to say. So I'm lucky I dodged that bullet. I didn't have to make that decision and live with the guilt that I probably would have right now if I got my kids on that schedule. What do you, okay. So anything else you'd like to say about that before we move on?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, I don't envy parents of young children because I don't, none of these shots, none of these vaccines have been tested against placebos, saline placebo, and they haven't been tested where you give 6 shots in one day. So it's a dilemma. And, what I'm telling my patients is, maybe hold off until hopefully, Robert F. Kennedy will straighten that out and we get some real data.
Yeah, so when they say that they've been safety tested, what I've learned since COVID and what I've learned because of the work of Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is that when they say that they've been tested, they've been not tested against a placebo, which is an inert saline solution. What they've been tested against is another vaccine. And some of these tests are very short. They've only followed up for them. You can speak. How short are some of those tests?
Generally, I believe about a month sometimes, not long term.
Yeah. So you would think it would be 10 years. You think it would be, they would follow these, but no, it's not. Some of them, just 4 to 6 weeks, and which is very disconcerting to me. And you're not allowed to ask these questions because people get scared. They've been told the propaganda is, well, if you ask questions about the vaccine schedule, you're liable to make other people vaccine hesitant, and then everybody's going to get sick and die. That's the big propaganda, right?
Right. And the other thing they don't tell you, and we learned this during COVID, is early treatment works for the vast majority of diseases that are being vaccinated against. There is a treatment for. So that's also not being discussed.
Yeah, it's amazing how measles went from a punchline on the Brady Bunch when I was a kid to now being the scariest thing in your kid could ever face, and a life-threatening illness that everybody should be shitting their pants about on a 24-hour basis. To me, it's just amazing. And when I show those videos of how it was a punchline on the Brady Bunch, and to now you'll see these dramas on NBC talk about, oh my God, and they have the dramatic music underneath. It's just. It just goes to show you that when Bill Clinton allowed Big Pharma to advertise on network television, that was really, really a horrible thing for this country. And people don't know that we're the only country besides New Zealand that does that. And guess which two countries were the most authoritarian and oppressive during COVID?
Right. That's a good point.
So we live in a completely corrupt society. That's what I'm trying to say. And I can't believe people still turn to corporate news for their news, even after COVID, even after Russiagate, even after the Iraq War twice, even after Afghanistan for 20 years, and even after they lied to their face that Joe Biden wasn't demented. And when everybody knew that, I knew that he was demented in 2019. And so if I knew that, they knew it too. And now they're all pretending that they were hoodwinked by the administration, although we know they weren't. And those people, the thing that's surprising to me is not that corporate news lies, because that's what they do. The biggest liars are the government. Second is corporate news. And third are randos on social media. But what's surprising to me is that people continue to go back to those people who've lied to them at every turn since I can remember. They've lied to them at least since the Iraq War. They've lied to them about everything. Isn't that surprising to you?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the pandemic changed that to some degree. I mean, I'm certainly a lot more skeptical I used to watch mainstream news. Now I would never. And I think there are definitely more of us out there now.
Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, London, Liverpool, Birmingham. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.